knowing the business side. A lot of fitness professionals don't, and I've been involved with a lot of them, so they don't have that side.
And it's hard because that's, people get into this profession to have success, to help other people, and they quickly find that they find themselves out of the profession because the management or the owners and operators don't value that human capital investment, in putting that education back into their employees. They're quick to purchase the latest piece of fitness equipment.
Right.
They're quick to purchase the license for the latest fad group exercise class, but they don't want to invest in the people, in my opinion, who are the most valuable. Your employees, they drive your business. Long after that piece of equipment hasn't been used, or traded in, you still like to think you have your employees there, and no one wants turnover. I have to imagine when you hire someone, you own the great responsibility of allowing them to have success and to giving them the blueprint or the pathway to be successful, which, to me was always important.
Yeah, so it starts at the top, and does trickle down, especially in the club space, correct?
I think you own the responsibility of having your employees be, giving them the tools to be successful. I often think, when we go into these companies, we do this diagnostic test on the staff, and we look and we say, okay, knowing our system and knowing our process, who has the capacity to do the work we're going to ask them to do? Who has the willingness and the wanting to do that work? And once we make some, adjustments to the staff, we do some plus and minus, work on that. When we have the core group, now I always looked at it and saying, when we have our core group, now we have this landing pad or this launch pad. And it's like having a rocket ship on a launch pad. And when the rocket ship's about to take off, it's pointed in a straight direction. And the ultimate goal is to see that rocket ship, go straight up to its desired target, which is what we want for our employees. We want to see our employees, we have an unrestricted or frictionless path to success. But as the ship takes flight, if there's no education involved, if we don't correct bad behaviors, if we don't allow them to find, or we don't give them the development to achieve the measures that we're asking, it starts to veer off in a different direction. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard to get that back. And we're almost creating bad behaviors from day one. So our job, or my job, is to make sure that not only do we create measures for success for the company, to cascade down to each individual, but we give them the development to get there. And that's why that curriculum is so important. The first course provides the framework for the whole system, and leads into creating a personal branding piece. So it goes back to that idea that if we have a series of 20 personal trainers in a facility, how do we make each one of them relevant? How do we show that they're differentiated from each other and from their competition, or outside competition, and creating that personal brand for them within the facility? From there, I know that there's an incredible correlation between the way you properly qualify someone for this service and the end result, which is having them subscribe. And we do a 3-hour piece just on consultative interviews and solution outcome oriented strategy to get people to subscribe to the service. It's an incredible detail. And from there, takes them to the third phase of it, which is that hour-long edition or that complimentary session that we know all these health club companies use as a sales piece to get people integrated into the service. And there's 2 hours of content just on how to service that 1-hour audition. There's performance reviews and measures in place to make sure that everyone knows how to get to that end result, which again is getting someone to subscribe to that service, which essentially is the lifeblood for these health clubs. It's the largest revenue